Good morning. Thank you for being here. I am Cecil Pendergrass, Chairman of the Lee County Commission. Thank you for attending today to hear about exciting updates to the 911 technology here in Lee County. I'd like to introduce today's speakers, Commissioner Brian Hammond, Commissioner Ray Sandelli, and Sheriff Carmine Marcino. We also have with us our Department of Public Safety Director, Ben Apes. Commissioner Mann and Commissioner Wayne were unable to join us due to prior commitments. Lee County Commissioners continue our commitment and our sheriff to make public safety our top priority. Staying on top of technology helps residents, visitors, and also the first responders. You will hear shortly from Ben about the do's and don'ts to help you successfully text. This new technology will be a tremendous improvement for people with hearing impairments, domestic violence victims, and for others who are in dangerous situations where it's unable to possibly safely make a voice call. The Lee County Board of Commissioners is committed to public safety technology initiatives. Text to 911 is one of several initiatives planned in the next few months. This is part of our Next Generation 911 project. The board this year allocated $2.9 million early this year for Next Generation 911. This is funded by E911 user fees, which is collected on phone bills and remitted back to the counties to support 911 services. As you hear more about this today, you will please keep in mind that one thing, we still need you to call 911 when you need help. But now you have the option to text if you cannot call. Now I'd like to welcome Ben Apes, our Director of Public Safety.
Thank you, Commissioner, and good morning. We're excited this morning to share that Lee County residents and visitors can now text 911 for help during an emergency. Text to 911 is an essential alternative to calling 911. But we want to stress that you should call 911 when you can and text 911 when you can't. Texting 911 is an important option, especially for the deaf and hard of hearing, or people in situations where a voice call to 911 isn't possible. These situations include domestic violence or active shooter incidents. When texting 911, there are a few key things to remember. First, enter 911 in the to field of your text messaging application. Do not include dashes. You cannot group text 911 with other recipients like family members or emergency contacts. Your text to 911 must be in a distinct message by itself. You cannot use emojis, pictures, or videos with your message, so refrain from including those in your message to our 911 operators. Start your text with your location and the nature of your emergency. And be prepared to answer the call taker's questions. Shortly after your initial text, a call taker will respond to your message to ask additional questions to ensure the right help is sent to the right location. Finally, while we often think of texting as more relaxed and casual than a phone call, texting 911 has the same implications as calling 911. There is no need to test the system to see if it works. Every text will be responded to as if it was a voice call to 911 with an emergency response to verify if an emergency exists. The service will be available today, countywide, with text messages answered by the Lee County Sheriff's Office and Public Safety's Division of Emergency Communications, our Fire and EMS Communications Center. Every 911 center in the county will answer their own text messages this spring when the Next Generation 911 project is fully implemented. This is the first of several major public safety technology initiatives and is the tip of the iceberg in the board's programmatic and financial commitments to public safety, many of which will go live in the first half of 2022. I want to thank our county commissioners, county administration, and Sheriff Marcino for their support. I want to thank our Public Safety Technology Services team that makes all of these things happen behind the scenes. And finally, I want to thank our call takers across the county who answer the community's call for help each and every day. Commissioner Pendergrass?
Thank you. Thank you, Ben. This is great news. I'd like to always introduce Brian Hammond, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to start with gratitude. Thank you to the first responders who are standing behind me today and everyone who's out in the field working to keep our streets safe. You know, your Board of County Commissioners is absolutely committed to keeping our community the safe and beautiful community that it is today. In fact, it's amazing when you look at some of the headlines throughout the rest of the United States. I really feel blessed that we can live here in this safe community, and we'll make sure that the funding goes towards our first responders and our public safety so that we can keep it that way. This is a new tool for our growing population. They say we may have 1 million residents here by the year 2040, and we're going to need tools to continue to respond to that growing population. And this is a way to use technology to help make sure that we provide a great level of service for folks who have emergencies here in our area. So as long as we use this new tool appropriately, I think it's going to be fantastic for our community, and I want to thank the team who helped make it a reality.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Ray Sendelli.
Well, good morning. You know, first of all, I want to welcome all of you here to the chamber and stuff like this. The holidays are here, and we have a lot to be thankful for. There's some parts in our country right now that are suffering immensely, and you can see how all those new tools can be employed. Technology is great, but what this comes down to is people, and the richness of this community is how we care about each other. So the tools are one thing, how we care about each other cannot be, substituted for that. So I want to wish you the best for the holidays, care about each other. I want to thank this team here, and I use the word team as I know the sheriff office do. This is not one person. This is about us collectively caring about one another. Have a great holiday.
Thank you. I think it's pretty evident the commitment to Lee County public safety, and one of those commitments we've made this year is also the Lee County Sheriff's Department. I'd like to introduce Sheriff Marcino.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. Thank you, and good morning. What an honor to be here. I want to start off, obviously you've heard all the different types of things when it comes to the new text 911 and technology, but I want to thank this commission, amazing board. I want to thank our county manager, Roger DeJarlais, our partners in fire and EMS. There's a reason why everyone wants to live in Lee County in the state of Florida. This is such a great county, great residents, and this is yet another tool looking at technology on why this team comes together and we deliver the highest level of service, but not only that, but we work together. There is no I in team, and I say that often. This is one cohesive team, and that's why this county is successful. So this new text to talk is going to be a big thing for us. It's obviously another tool that we can utilize. You heard about domestic violence and situations where people cannot call the sheriff's office. We always want people to call if they can, but this is yet another way to make certain, another added level of service that our residents are going to be safe no matter what, and that's the way it will work. I want to say happy holidays and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I'm looking forward to doing more great things with this team in place. Again, we serve such amazing residents, and I'm proud to be part of the team. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. At this time, we'll take any questions, and we'll have the appropriate staff answer your questions. Any questions?
Yeah, Cole
Yes.
from Foxmore. So we kind of talked about how great it is to live in Lee County, and obviously we can't kind of ignore the headlines, like we said, with active shooters in schools. Is this something that we really have been kind of keeping an eye on? We kind of knew that we had to get to this point at some point because we can't ignore what we are seeing in our schools and around the nation.
Well, like the sheriff said earlier, it's a technology that will be used. And, you can text everything. Nowadays, you set doctor appointments up by car, by texting. So everybody, it's a common form of communication now. So I think this is obviously opportunity where if a child is trapped in a closet, they can't make a phone call, they can text. And now, after the spring, we'll be able to text pictures. So if they need some pictures or videos, that'll be part of evidence in those future cases, though. Great. Next question.
I'll go again.
Okay.
So, in my understanding, when we have call takers receive these 911 phone calls, now, are these text messages, are they just going to pop up on their computer screen? Is it different people kind of working those calls? Can you give me any information on
Well,
that?
Ben is the Director of Department of Safety. I will let Ben address that. That's his staff.
That's a great question. So the question again was when those text messages come in, how will they be answered within the centers? And it's the same call takers that answer 911 calls each day. that will receive those text messages on their screen. So they'll receive them on the screen, and then they go through a very similar interrogation process with those callers, or texters in this case. They'll ask similar questions to be able to narrow down and pinpoint not only the location, but the nature of the emergency so that we're sending the right help to that correct location.
Thank you. Any other questions? You guys are quiet this morning. Okay, well, I guess we'll end the press conference, and thank you. We'll be here for any other questions afterwards individually. Thank you for your time.